In a world of noise, one table dares to turn up the volume on real talk. So welcome to the Ron Table, where three hosts, myself, Nicole Gray, and Lainey Belcastro, with three microphones, and the conversation glows brighter than neon, ideas echo louder than applause, and your hosts bring you the truth with a mic drop every time. So pull up a chair, plug in, and let's get into it.
Hey, Ron, how are you?
Good, Nicole. So there's only the two of us today. Lady Belcastro is off. I don't know. She's overseas enjoying her life, reeling from all her.
She's our traveler. She's our traveler.
She is our traveler. She's living the life we want to grow up into.
Exactly. But you still got two of us. You still got two out of the three. You know, the table is safe. The table's in good hands.
The table is in good condition. We got other room, but we and I got a cover. So welcome everybody to our very first episode. So what we really want to do today, Nicole and I want to bring to you is what in the heck is the roundtable about? We've seen these faces from other podcasts like What's Next Gen X, which Nicole has with her cohort over there, and I'm sure some of you have seen it. And I've had Beyond the Bottom Line. But we've come together to bring you something different. We wanted to make sure that we had real talk, real voices. We're dealing with real issues. And we wanted to give you something a little bit more than a single voice thrown out there into the universe. And I couldn't think of two better people to lead this with than you and ladies. So I'm really excited to kick this off. And let's give all the listeners an overview, Nicole, of what are we really going to do here?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing for us is when we all got together, we all are entrepreneurs, right? All of us have our thing. We all have corporate experience. We wanted to have a real conversation because we see on social media, it's like, hey, do you want to earn $1 million a month? And hey, being an entrepreneur is the best thing since sliced bread. And it's okay. It's calm down. So this is what you're going to get. Honest conversation of what it means to be not only an entrepreneur, but just the day-to-day stuff. And I feel like folks don't talk about that. They see Shark Tank and everybody's like, ooh, I could do that. Sure, we all could. But there's so much more when you behind the curtain. And that's the thing we're doing. We're peeling the curtain and having a real conversation. It's great you have an idea. It's great you want to be an entrepreneur or solopreneur or whatever. And we'll have conversations about that whole thing. Everybody calling themselves something. But at the end of the day, you got to have a plan. And what does that mean? And we're really going to break some stuff down. So what we're going to, our thoughts today were to really kind of give you an idea of what to expect in future episodes because, hey, there's a lot to talk about.
It's not just even having the plan. I like to think too, and we've talked about this where it is really the will and the tenacity because this is not, like you said, this is not all peaches and cream like everybody makes it out to be like, buy this book and 6 steps to being a certified millionaire. No, it's not.
So first off, let's just break down the word. So entrepreneur sounds fancy, but it often means broke, brilliant, and a little bit bananas. And sometimes all that can be either in a day or the same week. And I'm sure everybody can attest to that. And then also with it, we all like to call ourselves that. But at the end of the day, Ron, I'm sure you would agree, it's not about titles. It's not about the title. It's not about the vibe. It's about risk, resilience, and reinvention. That's really
I love that. And that about hits the nail on the head. I always make the joke in my house. I'm not the CEO, the COO, the CFO. I'm the head of maintenance. That is my role. It doesn't mean I don't contribute evenly or even advance in some areas.
Somebody's going to take the trash out. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Every role is important no matter what you call yourself. And that's the whole basis of an entrepreneur. You have that hat that got 19 brims on it that you're always swiveling around. Where does it land today?
And Ron, that's a great segue because again, let's talk about the myth versus the math and mess. And you've touched on something. The myth. You'll have so much freedom when you're an entrepreneur. But like Ron said, the reality is you're the boss, the assistant, the janitor, the therapist. I know for me, sometimes I'm the lunch lady. It really just depends on what's going on. But you wear so many hats. I remember, Ron, starting my own business and I needed tech support. And then I realized I was tech support. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
You don't even want to know how many calls and money I spent just on Microsoft, on Google, just to get set up the right way, and then I'm not locked out for 3 weeks. and I couldn't even get back into my own stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
you want to talk about it? I don't have a future in IT. There's a reason I didn't go into IT, and that's one of them. But yeah,
Exactly. And you miss those days and you have to be realistic. And I think people see entrepreneurs on the boss and they don't understand what that means. Yes, you're the boss of everything. Now, if you're blessed to have a team, that's great. But even with that team, and you know this, Ron, because you've hired people, you've done that. I haven't done that yet. You're still the boss. You still have to make sure because at the end of the day, that's your passion, not your team's.
yeah. And exactly to that point, yes, I've had some people that I've known and that I trusted that I brought on that were in a similar situation, but weren't ready to launch their own business at this juncture. They were still looking to get back into corporate. And I was hoping that I could drive something quickly enough to do, but then you're hiring them as contractors. You got to come to an agreement of what that means, what that rate means, how you're going to pay that, making sure that you're set up right with accounting and taxes, that they understand the implications of it, that you're paying them the right way. There's so much that just goes into the bookkeeping side of it. And yet I have a great accountant, but he doesn't do my day to day. He just makes sure every quarter that I'm on the straight and narrow. We're looking at my statement, which generally is like definitely in the red, especially in that first year. So you don't have that support. But you said something I want to go back to. So, and you have this free time, the myth of you have that free time. I'm going to tell you from my perspective, and I would love for you to chime in on this.
Yeah.
In this first year, even today, going into like month 15, when I have free time, I'm having like a panic attack because that means I'm not meeting anybody. I'm not driving any business. I'm not having any conversations. So while the free time to go mow your lawn or take your dog for the walk or go out with your friends for brunch, that all sounds fine and good. But man, in that first 2 or 3 years, free time, it is nerve wracking.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ron, you said everything with that one because I felt it in my gut because I feel like that. And that's too because all the years we spent in corporate, if I had some free time, at least I know I'm still getting paid, right?
Yeah.
But when it's all on you and I have time to run here or run there or whatever, I'm constantly thinking of, man, I would kill to have a client right now. Or if I could be working on something right now. And that's the part that's really hard. You said it all that. Free time mean no money time. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes into, again, Ron, you're killing it with the segues for me. Build it and they will come. No, they don't. That doesn't happen. It sounds good. It works well in a movie. Build it and they will come or he will come or whatever. But building is one thing, but selling it, staying consistent, pivoting, failing forward, that's the real work. And if you can handle that, because I went into it, Ron, I don't know about you. I went into it very realistic. I saw friends and family who were entrepreneurs. I knew realistically, first of all, I didn't worry about social media. I knew I was going to make $1 million the first 7 days that I started my business. But I still, as much as I was very realistic, it still was hard where I was like, I got I'm doing this great stuff. Why wouldn't people want to use me as a coach? Why wouldn't people want to come to me as a consultant? Because there's 9 million other people doing the same thing. That's why.
Yep. And with all the talk that's out there and everything that you see on every single social media platform, it's, oh, this is the easiest way to freedom. At Gen X, you have an expiration date in corporate. Yeah, we all do. And I agree with that. And we need to be thinking of other ways to plan for our future because our financial security isn't going to be there. We didn't grow up. We don't have pension funds and things like that. Those are things for our parents. It wasn't offered. So we're going to be working until we're 75 or 80. But just getting there is not as easy as they make it out online. Every day, my feed is always full of take this webinar and 6 steps to your financial freedom of the future and have this book. Unreal.
If not the webinar, it's the masterclass. I can't do it.
Yes,
yes. Or the countless emails. Let me show you how I worked with another business and they had 100 clients or 100 whatever. Again, it all sounds good, but just prepare yourself, which ties into the emotional roller coaster. And it really messes with your confidence. You wake up one morning and you're like, oh, I got this. And then by 4 o'clock, you're like, I don't got this. And it's going to be like that for a while, even if you're doing well. But you have to continue to do well. You can't just say, oh, I have 5 clients this week or whatever you're selling and I sold this. Yeah, you got to keep it up. That's the part.
Yeah.
You got to keep it up.
Yeah. And right there for me, I think that's where my imposter syndrome creeps in.
Yeah.
So like you, like I knew what other people were going through to do this. And I wasn't fully bought in when I first started this. I was still looking for work. I looked for work simultaneously, trying to figure out where my path was. And early on, it was really tough because over 900 applications out there. I heard back from 70. That's it. And most of those, I think, they resulted in 6 interviews for 5 jobs that I did not want. And the one that I wanted pulled the offer after they made the offer because the person that was originally going to take the job that declined it came back into the fold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're sitting there and you get to a certain age.
Yeah.
And you don't find those opportunities. So I happened into this, but I came into it wounded already. To be very honest, my confidence was wounded because after 29 years of working my way up from being a front desk person to a national director of recruiting and talent acquisition and ops, to feel that fall and to have nothing coming back to you for opportunity, and then jumping into this and seeing and feeling those struggles on a daily basis, it'll mess with your head. I still don't sleep a lot of times a night. I think I sleep about 3 hours.
Yeah. We're no longer the new kids on the block, pun
Yeah.
intended. Because like you, and of course we'll share more of our stories too. You'll be able to hear, but I was laid off. And that was hard too, especially when I was ready to leave. And it's like they beat me to it. It's like dating that guy and you're like, this is not gonna work, but you don't get around to it. And then next year he breaks up with you and you're like, whoa, I was gonna break up with you first. Yeah. And it just sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Which leads now to risk tolerance versus risk addiction. Entrepreneurs like to say we're risk takers, but there's a fine line between brave and reckless. And I think a lot of people, again, get caught up on social media, what they see on TV, just the word. Well, sometimes I'll meet people like, I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm like, no, you're not. It sounds dumb. I can just tell you're not. You know? I'm praying. It's like me saying, I'm a size 0. You're not. But it's hard.
I made hemp wallets on the weekend and tell them at the swap meet, you are not an entrepreneur. You are an opportunist.
Right. Kids last week at a lemonade stand, they're not entrepreneurs. Okay.
No,
It's fun.
no.
But they're not doing that every week. Yeah.
Your future is not riding on it. That's the whole thing. And that whole thing about risk, you stated it so well, like you almost, I don't want to say I've become risk adverse.
Yeah.
But in corporate, I was a lot more aggressive in pushing new ideas, ideals, and thoughts.
We had a safety net too. Let's be honest. That
Yes.
helped.
Yes. In this, it's not so much.
Yeah. I could be risk in corporate because if I fall, the net's going to
Yeah.
catch me. And then I'll just climb back up and try it again. As an entrepreneur, you fall, you can hit the pavement. And how do you recover from that? And a lot of people, they can't. That's hard.
Well, and I think as we go forward and we talk about this, and we'll get into this in future conversations, but it's how do you even grow that business? It's not as simple as they put it out online. It just isn't. And there is financial investment that's involved to get out there. There is not just one magic bullet and one platform and one thing that works. And it's not just getting noticed on LinkedIn or, hey, if I could get Taylor Swift to one of my posts, awesome. Chances of that happening are about. So,
yeah. Or the people who
you
sell
know.
you don't need to invest any money. Just start today. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then with that, let's talk about the loneliness factor, Ron. Because sometimes it feels like no one really gets it. You know what I mean? Because I remember getting laid off and then making a decision, I'm not going back to corporate, and then telling people I'm going to do my own thing, starting my own thing, and then people will still be like, well, no, what are you doing again? And I'm like, I've told you 50 million times, this is what I'm doing. Oh, okay. But so you're not I'm not there anymore. Come on, people, help me. So.
Yeah. The whole, what is it that you do again, always killed me.
Yeah.
It still killed because I still have people that even some of my friends are like, wait a minute. what did you do again? And I'm like, I've explained this to you 15 times. But you get that a lot, like from folks that maybe even are looking there. For me, it's like I used to teach the recruiters that I would train. There's not one platform to connect with people. Like we're in this really diverse time where you have 5 different generations looking for work, 15 different ways. And it's the same thing from the business and sales perspective of, oh, you have these multi-generational people out there that are all connecting different ways. Everything is saturated. There's not one thing that's working. And you're isolated in this. You have all these different communities that do different things, that do different stuff. But there's a lot of these different Slack channels that some of them are free, some of them are charges, some of them are overridden, some of them are pointless, some of them you do stuff like, I got really lucky to meet like-minded individuals. That's how you and I met. We had commonality, but we followed up and followed through, and we became friends.
And Ron, please, okay, real quick. I'm sorry, because you have to repeat this. You have to repeat what you just said for the people in the back. What did we do? We followed
through.
It followed through. Thank you. People think I'm gonna meet people and I'm gonna collaborate. We're gonna have this great idea. We're gonna make all this money. But, and again, something we'll talk about, it's entrepreneur and getting ghosted, being ghosted. Entrepreneur, you meet people and you're like, hey, let's follow up, you exchange cards or information or whatever. And it's just like nothing happens. Or Brian and I have dealt with this very, very recently. You meet people and they're all about, what are you going to give me? And then we got to ask for something and it's crickets.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
You got to be careful the people you meet. Everybody doesn't have your best interest.
Yeah.
In mind.
You got to have your guard up, because it's kind of like Forrest Gump. Stupid is as stupid does.
Gosh. Honestly, being an entrepreneur almost takes you back to high school. You got to prepare for the different flicks.
Yep.
So it's just the mean girls are now doing master classes. No, I'm just kidding.
The mean girls and the mean guys. They are doing master.
But I'm really excited about this, Ron, and I'm glad we were able to do this because so many people talk about the fluff side of entrepreneurship, and we're just going to tell them like it is, and the good, the bad, the ugly. And we're so looking forward to breaking down a lot. We just talked about having Lainey on, sharing more personal experiences. And I think that we're definitely onto something. And I feel like just in the state of the world and where people are getting laid off or fired or whatever, people are going to try to figure out what to do. And we want to be that resource for you.
Yeah. At least if we're not a resource, maybe we just break up your time and give you a laugh. Maybe just change your thinking a little bit. You share it with a friend that makes a difference.
Yeah.
We really just want to be a voice of sanity in an insane world.
With a reason. Yes.
Yeah. But I think doing it too, so people understand the three of us don't come from the same background and offer the same services in what we do as entrepreneurs. So you're getting 3 different perspectives from 3 independent business owners that could collaborate together. But like the Ghostbusters, we don't cross the streams.
Yeah.
But we love to knock down your 500-foot marshmallow man.
Yeah. And you'll notice we'll have a lot of funny we'll have funny references to 80s and 90s because that's our jam. So as long as you like 90s old TV shows, movies, music, and all that, we're all going to get along great.
Oh my God.
Of course, we have current references. Come on. And with that, we will end every show, Ron, with our WTF moment of the week and our FTW moment for the week. And that's for the win. So we'll have both. And it just depends on, and they're going to be good. And some will be funny and some will be like, what? I didn't know about that. But that's the whole point. It's just, instead of ending most podcasts when it end with some little whatever, no, we're going to end strong. We're going to end strong and give you something to think about or laugh about.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. So I'll kick it off. So here's my, because I like to end on a positive. So my WTF moment for the week was somebody last week shared a post on LinkedIn that absolutely abhorred me, where a recruiter had shared the importance of taking the address off of your resume, which I totally agree. Your address shouldn't be on there. But for the fact that they said, I will use that to see where you live in the economic status of where you own or rent in order to negotiate your salary.
Yeah.
That person, take that post and fire that person. If somebody was on my team like that, I'd have put them on a PIP or walked them out the door. So that's my WTF. Recruiters, do better. And candidates
And I agree.
don't
Piss
fall for
me
that.
off, too. I don't need you
Yeah.
looking at my house and trying to figure out what kind of person I am.
Yeah. Now, for the win, if you're ever in New York, MJ the musical.
Yeah. Yes.
Saw it over this past weekend. First time I ever saw it. Absolutely mind blowing.
Nice.
Completely different take. The performance was fantastic. The three individuals that played young, middle, and older Michael Jackson were phenomenal performers, but it tells his story in a very different way that, I'll be honest, it hit me. It really hit me different. And
Great.
the music was phenomenal. Listen, it's like 80s and 90s. Listen, there ain't nothing like, I never got to see Michael live, so just to be able to see this was fantastic. But to end the show, they got a 10-minute standing ovation. That's how.
Oh my God. See,
So that was for the win. Oh, Nicole, let me kick it to you.
all right, I'm going to do like you did. I'm going to start out with my WTF. So last week it came out. Did you know we had a World Happiness Report?
No.
Okay. Yes, we do. And let me just say that the U.S. plummeted to a ranking of 24. So a lot of it had to do with increased rates of loneliness. And more than 50% of the people in the world say they eat a meal, a lot of times dinner by themselves. And more young people are just not happy. Now in 2012, we ranked 11th. So that just tells you it's bad. Finland is still number 1. I still don't understand what goes on in Finland. So we got to figure that out. Maybe we could do a field trip. But yeah, that's my WTF as far as we're stinking out the joint with happiness. And what's sad is we thought with COVID, that was like our worst time, but it's just getting worse. And it's really sad, the whole loneliness thing. I hate when anybody feels lonely, to be honest with you. All right, so my for the win, which I'm all about. I love my sports, so I'll have a lot of sports metaphors, analogies, whatever. But the buzzer beater over the weekend was Maryland. And we haven't had a real. So Maryland hit the winning buzzer beater with only 3 seconds left in the game. And the reason this is such a win is because their last 4 games, Ron, were decided by a buzzer beater that they lost.
Yeah.
So they were feeling it. So with 10 seconds left, Colorado State, who they beat, the guy hit a 3, and everybody was like, all Maryland was like, great, this is happening it again. But they had 3.6 seconds. There was a freshman of the team named Derek Queen. He's from Maryland, from Baltimore. The coach was like trying to drop a play. He said, just give me the ball. Actually, he said, just give me the MF and ball. We're adults, you know what he said. And the coach is like, all right. And he told his teammates, I got this. And this is a freshman. And guess what? Derek did got this. Because as he threw up the ball, you saw the clock and everything. The ball goes in, time's out. Come on. Oh, it was so good.
It's the ending. It was an incredible game. It was an incredible game. And let me just say, they can talk all they want about the SEC kicking out the ACC in the tournament.
Yeah.
How many Big Ten teams are there, people? No. Bananas.
Go Blue.
Dominance. Man. Penn State won the wrestling championship this past week. For them, Ohio State won the national football title. I'll see how big the SEC is now, folks.
Yeah, those are some good ones. So if you ever have a for the win or a WTF moment, yeah, definitely share it with us. And but we're excited. Rob, this is going to be so good.
I think this is going to be great. I think this is going to be a breath of fresh air that a lot of people need. I know I need it for myself. So even if it goes nowhere, it makes me feel good. Maybe that'll bring up our happiness factor.
Yeah. We just think that Ron and I will be able to talk to each other more. Yeah, I'm all for it. So
my God, yeah.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Just wait till Lady hits the mix. It's going to be it's Saturday. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We hope that you tune in. We will get a schedule out there shortly, and look for us on our very first official The Ron Table coming very soon to a social media platform near you.
See you, folks.